Greetings, everyone. This is John Contreras, a Greek-American journalist. I'm coming to you from Los Angeles with a special report. Our website is GreekNewsOnDemand.com. That's GreekNewsOnDemand.com. Today is February the 20th, 2017. The time is 3:20 p.m. Los Angeles time, Pacific Standard Time. This special report has to do with the now verified connection between the scandal Pizzagate and the country Greece. I think you're going to find this very interesting, especially in view of the recent arrest of Alderman Thomas Castiandonis from New Hampshire, the New Hampshire State Legislature. So please stand by, because I think the following information is going to help shed a lot of light on Castiandonis' case, as well as on Pizzagate in general. Okay, what you just saw were some extremely interesting photographs and images, straight both from Castiandonis' Facebook page and also from the official page, website, of an organization in Greece that's connected with the Greek Parliament. It's called the Foundation of the Greek Parliament. The most interesting thing that we saw in these photos and images was nothing more than an image that pretty much resembles the boy lover symbol that everyone has seen in connection with Pizzagate the past 3 months or more. In other words, we see the triangle within the triangle, okay? Now, some may say that looks like the Illuminati symbol, the triangle with a dot in the middle, which could resemble the eyeball, the all-seeing eye. But in reality, if you look at it really closely, ladies and gentlemen, what do you see? You see basically a triangle within a triangle. It's unmistakable. Let's now take a look again at the same image by Googling it on Google Photos. Now, you're going to have to type this out in Greek, basically, if you're going to be able to want to, find the particular image. So basically, what I had to type in was to Ίδρυμα της Βουλής των Ελλήνων, the foundation of the Greek Parliament, or you can say the Greek Parliament Foundation. So, I'm going to show you the particular search right now on your screens, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you images straight from Google Images regarding the results of my particular query for the Greek Parliament Foundation, let's say. Okay, you just saw the results. We clearly see a triangle within a triangle. Make no mistake about it. You also saw the official Facebook page, okay, of this same foundation of the Greek Parliament, or the Greek Parliament Foundation. So what I'm about to show you are some articles that I have just written on the Pizzagate issue in connection with Greece. Not only in connection with the Greek-American Tom Castiandonis, but also in connection with Greece, more particularly in connection with his visits to Greece. Okay? And you're going to find this pretty interesting. So what I can tell you is this. The Greek mainstream news media has covered this. Okay? Has covered Tom Castiandonis' arrest. The big Greek-American newspaper, the National Herald out of Chicago, has covered it, okay? Other top Greek publications in Greece, from Greece, have actually covered this. But as of yet, there hasn't been one Greek mainstream news media source that has made the connection, okay, with Pizzagate. We have, of course, mainstream news media here talking about this story. And we have, of course, Alex Jones from Texas talking about it now, too. Okay? Alex Jones, for a while, wasn't talking about Pizzagate, as most of you may know. Okay? Now, that's another issue. But all of a sudden, he's sort of starting to creep back into this issue and touch on it again through his reporting. But the other day, I believe it was either yesterday or Saturday, it was his reporter, Leanne McAdoo, that actually referred to Pizzagate by referring to Tom Castiandonis' arrest. So in her report, she refers to the arrest and basically says that the authorities say that this has to do with, like, economic malfeasance or something of that sort, economic irregularities, some BS like that. But in the end of her report, she states that basically there are tons of people out there who are researching Pizzagate that are making now the connection between Thomas Castiandonis' arrest and Pizzagate itself. What I'd like to do now is get into a little bit of the material of some of my articles that I have written on Pizzagate in connection, of course, with Greece. Okay? And then we'll cover Tom Castiandonis a little bit later towards the end of this broadcast. So basically, in my article, and I'm going to translate this now, I'm going to interpret this now into English, with the title, Revelation Shock, the big scandal Pizzagate of the elites has now reached Greece. I talk about basically how not only is Pizzagate real, okay, and I provide all the proofs. I also talk about, of course, former CIA official Robert David Steele's revelation on Alex Jones recently, where he, gets into how Michael Flynn was basically let go, let's say, by Trump because he had in his possession this huge list of Washington pedophiles, and how basically Mike Pence's best friend is involved in this, and how Reince Priebus is part of the cover-up and stuff like that. But I had predicted this, though, 2 days before Robert David Steele got on to Alex Jones by saying how I believe 100% that, Mr. Flynn was let go because of his son's revelations on Pizzagate, or his comments, rather, back in December of 2016. So, make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, because this whole thing about Russia and all this garbage and this conflict going on in Trump's administration, I think, in my opinion, and according to my research, this is all one big smokescreen, one big cover-up, to basically veer the public's attention away from the scandal of all scandals. And the scandal of all scandals is Pizzagate. Make no mistake about it. We're not going to go to war with Russia. In my opinion, no one's trying to overthrow Trump. Okay. Trump is another issue. I don't have too much trust in him for many different reasons. Okay. But that'll be for another broadcast. But as I get into, though, the whole content of my article here, in a nutshell, and I'm going to show you this on the screen now, too, there is a non-governmental organization in Greece called the Elpida Home for Refugees, okay? The Elpida Home for Refugees, which is sponsored by the Radcliffe Foundation, which is owned by Frank Giustra, who owns also Lion Gates Films. And also remember, Lion Gates Films has made the most god-awful, evil, disgusting, satanic movies like Hostel, right? And we all know what the Hostel series are all about. Just look at Hostel Part 2, okay? Now, I want to thank a lot of the YouTubers out there who have already gotten this information out, okay, which I'm telling you now. Like Ron Johnson, okay, the channel Ron Johnson, okay? R-O-N is how you spell Ron, and then Johnson, okay, which is a very good channel. I'll recommend that you visit his channel and check out his videos, as well as many others out there, of course. So these are the guys that helped first get out this revelation, and then what I did a few days ago was translate this all into Greek and publish it in my blog, GreekNewsOnDemand.com, and now this has gotten out to the whole Greek blog world. This article is going viral, and I also sent it to official Greek newspapers for publication. So what I talk about is how, the LP, the Home for Refugees, is a non-governmental organization, like I said. Now, all these non-governmental organizations in Greece are 100% illegal. They're there illegally. They have no right to be there. Okay? They don't have the right paperwork. They don't have the legal standing to be there, but the Greek government has allowed them to be there, oddly enough. And this has been a major ongoing issue for 2 years now with the treasonous Syriza government of Alexis Tsipras.
We're not just thinking, how can we create a refugee camp? We're thinking, how can we create a space where people can thrive?
We have done something that's never been done before. This is an entirely a private initiative in partnership with government, but completely run by the private sector, by our ECLA Foundation, which I run, and a number of nonprofit groups. And it will essentially provide not only humane living conditions for all of these refugees, but also all of the support services that are necessary.
And we think that that combination of private philanthropy money with volunteers is really a winning combination to be able to break through this NGO government roadblock that is in place throughout the humanitarian system.
The fact that we can provide that hope through this center as the beginnings of a new life is the part that just makes me it makes me very proud to be part of this. That's our real objective, to show that it can be done and inspire others to do the same. And we hope that when we get this up and running and we demonstrate to people how it works, that we're going to get a lot of offers to partner and do this again elsewhere.
Okay? Now, the Greek media has reported on time and time again how there's a lot of these children, okay, from Syria or other countries that are flooding into Greece that are under the age of 16, and a lot of them don't even have parents with them. They're arriving in Greece unaccompanied by parents. Now, this is unbelievably shocking, and in a recent Greek mainstream news media report, we found out that recently about 2,000 young children under the age of 16 arrived in Greece, okay, refugees, okay, without parents, without being accompanied by parents. This is just strange, okay? Now, also, and in order to basically, nail down my points here, in order to give credence to what I'm saying, okay, in order to back up fully what I'm saying here about the connection between Pizzagate and Greece, I think it's proper for me to tell you at this point that there's been a major pedophile ring network operating in Greece for decades. And the Greek Justice Department has covered it up. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, I work together with some of the best Greek journalists in Greece. Okay, I also get a lot of information from Greek intelligence, and I can't mention names or anything like that, but I can assure you that the information that I publish in my blog about Greece, about whatever issue, about this issue, about the Greek economic crisis, whatever, is bona fide, real, legit, solid evidence about what's really going on in Greece, okay? So, I offer you the real deal, all right? Because I have the connections. I appear on Greek TV, both here in the United States and in Greece. I publish my articles also in many other top Greek blogs. I appear on Greek radio, the #1 Greek radio network worldwide, Halas FM out of New York. So I have something to say on this issue, okay? Namely, Pizzagate in connection with Greece. So there's been a long-standing pedophile scandal that's been brewing in Greece, okay? And the Greek government, the Greek Justice Department has not dealt with it, all right? Now, there's a lady, okay? I'm going to say her first name, Maria, who's a former top, let's say, circuit court judge in Greece, okay? The legal system's a little bit different than what it is here. So I will call her a circuit court judge, which is a pretty high position, okay? Particularly in terms of the way our legal structure, judicial structure works here in the United States. So let's just say she's a circuit court judge. She's not anymore because she's been forced out. Because she was the only person, this brave lady, to touch on this issue years ago. And ever since then, she's received persecution, death threats. But she has all the evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that this stuff is going on in Greece too. For decades. Okay? Now, is it any wonder we see something, okay, in the official halls of the foundation of the Greek Parliament that resembles the boy lover symbol of the pedophiles, which the FBI has already provided to us, and we've known this now for 10 years. Is it any wonder that this symbol, okay, that they have at the Greek foundation of the Greek Parliament pretty much looks like the same symbol of the international pedophile networks. Now, this symbol apparently now has popped up in other areas of Greece, which you're going to find interesting. Now, if you go to Google and you type in the Alpida Home for Refugees in Greece, click on the first link that's there. The page that pulls up will say the Alpida Home for Refugees. Scroll all the way down and look at the bottom left-hand corner. Click on the image that is in the bottom left-hand corner, pull it up, and what do you see? Why, it's none other than the boy lover symbol. Gee, isn't that interesting? Now, again, the Radcliffe Foundation funds the Alpida Home for Refugees. The Radcliffe Foundation is owned by Frank Giustra. Frank Giustra, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this now, is a personal friend and donor of the Clintons. Yes, you heard that correctly. So at this point, I know that we're already making all the connections in our minds here, okay, between, Pizzagate, Greece, Frank Giustra, the Clintons, and so on and so forth. Now, when Pizzagate broke back in November, the official page of the Alpida Home for Refugees, listen to this, put as their icon, okay, on Facebook, that very same symbol, the boy lover symbol. Now, up until that time, ladies and gentlemen, no one around the world, okay, even knew what that symbol meant. Maybe like 1% of 1% of the U.S. population, of the world population, even knew what that symbol meant. But once, not Pedogate, some people are calling Pedogate, but what is commonly known as Pizzagate, once that broke, now everyone knows what that symbol means, right? Okay. So once the whole thing broke, what does this organization do that's based all the way in Greece, thousands of miles away in Greece? What do? Why, they go and they change their profile picture on Facebook. Completely taking off the boy lover symbol and just putting basically the name there of the organization, Alpida, as you're going to see right now. Pretty interesting to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is pretty shocking revelations, okay? Now, what I'm going to get into is some of the visits of Castiandonis in Greece, okay? And I'm also going to get into the fact that his brother, George Castiandonis, listen to this, used to be a representative in New Hampshire, but then he left a couple years ago and went to be a member of parliament of a Greek party in Greece. See, that's kind of weird and interesting, to say the least, okay? And what also I'm going to reveal to you is how both Thomas and George Castiandonis have participated in an organization, okay, called, in Greek, to chamoyelo tu pediu, the child's smile, or the smile of the child, you can say, okay? Which has to do with protecting the rights of the poor and oppressed children in Greece. So stand by. Okay, what you just saw on your screen was the official Amber Alert symbol, and also the official symbol of this Greek organization I just told you about, the smile of the child, or the child's smile. In Greek, to chamoyelo tu pediu. What's interesting, like I said, is that both Thomas and his brother George Castiandonis have been actively involved supporting this organization. Very interesting. This organization, of course, helps the poor and oppressed children, abused children there in Greece, okay? Now, what you're going to find interesting, okay, are the following facts. The smile of the child receives support from Amber Alert Hellas. Amber Alert Hellas. Greece, in other words. In other words, the organization Amber Alert, which operates here in the United States, apparently operates in Greece too, and probably in other countries too. Now, what have been the recent revelations with regards to Amber Alert? Well, we found out that the Miss Laura Silsby, all right, the close friend of the Clintons, who was caught smuggling children out of Haiti back in 2010, okay, instead of being behind bars, this psychopathic witch is now part, basically, of a company that provides technical support for Amber Alert. What does that tell you about Amber Alert? It tells you that Amber Alert's completely 100% corrupt. Why in the hell would an organization like Amber Alert hire a known child trafficker? Now, I'm not going to get into all the details about Laura Sills because there's so many amazing videos that people have made right now out there on YouTube, and I commend all of them. But just think about this, all right? And also think about now the connection with Greece, Amber Alert Hellas, Mr. Castiandonis, right, and his brother George are involved with supporting, right, this organization, the Smile of the Child, which also cooperates with Amber Alert Hellas. Amber Alert, again, was founded here in the United States, right? Now, obviously, at this point, no one here, in their right mind, obviously, is making any type of concrete accusations against either Mr. Tom or Mr. George Castiandonis, okay? What we're doing is the job that the mainstream news media should be doing. But they haven't been doing this. They haven't been covering Pizzagate. And when they, just covered Castiandonis' arrest, they didn't make the connection with Pizzagate. They didn't talk about the fact that this guy has 3 pizzerias, okay, in the New Hampshire area. I mean, come on, give me a break here. 3 pizzerias. And, of course, the whole thing about Pizzagate is centered around Comet Ping Pong Pizza of James Alefantis, okay? Now, note at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that apparently, it's nothing more than us Greeks, okay, that are making headways about, Pizzagate. Because James Alefantis is Greek, Thomas Castiandonis is Greek, and there's one other guy too that's been arrested or being interrogated in connection with his Mr. Castiandonis' economic malfeasances or whatever. And this guy apparently has his own pizzeria. Castiandonis has 3, and this guy apparently has one himself. That's according to the National Herald. And what the National Herald actually mentioned is that this guy is the president of this 4th pizzeria. They didn't really say he was the owner, but they said he's like the president of it. So anyway, what I want to read to you really quick is something from godlikeproductions.com. Okay, someone posted something there very interesting, and I should read it because it gives a good summary about Castiandonis. And it says, New Hampshire Alderman Thomas Castiandonis has ties to the Smile of the Child, which I just stated, which is a children's charity in Greece. Okay, now listen to this. It deals with organ growth, and it has political ties with the Clintons. Oh my God. Okay. So, and they write, this is a breaking developing story that I've been researching most of the day. Okay, someone wrote this, and I'll give the source right now. I feel that I have the facts that are currently available. Okay? A major arrest that shook the New Hampshire State House of Representatives occurred when Thomas Castiandonis, okay, a brother of former U.S. Representative George Castiandonis, which I just mentioned, was implicated after search warrants were executed at his home and businesses. Castiandonis has not been arrested, but a major investigation is going on, okay? Federal and state investigators searched the home and 2 businesses of Alderman Thomas Castiandonis following a months-long criminal investigation, okay, criminal financial investigation. Okay, notice the phrases here. Criminal financial investigation, authorities said. Investigators searched the alderman's home and his businesses, Grand Slam Pizza 2, 331 South Mammoth Road, and Tommy K's Sports Bar and Restaurant, 2323 Brown Avenue. Castiandonis, a Democrat, has been an alderman in Ward 8 since 2001 and is a 6-term state representative. He previously served on the Manchester Board of School Committee. The search warrants are sealed and not available for public view. I wonder why. According to Associate New Hampshire Attorney General Jane Young. At this point, this is one of the earlier steps in the investigation process, so I can't predict what the outcome will be, Young said. Castiandonis has connections to the children's charity, the Smile of the Child. The president of the Smile of the Child, Kostas Yiannopoulos, and the head of international cooperation of the Greek organization, Ambassador Mark Van Der Reek, okay, Denreek, which is spelled Vandenreeck, were invited to present the actions of the Smile of the Child to the Board of Directors of the World Hellenic Interparliamentary Association, taking place in Athens in the framework of an official visit of the delegation to Greece. The parliamentarians of Greek descent, headed by President Thomas Castiandonis, State Representative of New Hampshire, United States of America, showed particular interest in the direct work of the organization, the Smile of the Child. Okay? Now, in 2016 alone, 52,200 children and their families have been supported, okay, by this organization, okay? All right? The World Hellenic Interparliamentary Association is a nonpartisan political association which was founded in August, now get this, 1996, August 1996, the same year that the Smile of the Child was also funded. Okay? Now, if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gentlemen, what year was Amber Alerts founded? Okay? Amber Alerts, which I just mentioned. Now, remember that Amber Alert apparently is also working in other countries, operating in other countries. So basically, you know, this is pretty interesting because I believe that Amber Alert was founded pretty much around the same year, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Listen to this. I'm Wikipediaing right now Amber Alert. Okay? An Amber Alert, or a child abduction emergency, is a child abduction alert system. It originated in the United States in 1996. Isn't that something? In 1996. Gee, all these organizations being originated in 1996. Like what I just described to you right now. The World Hellenic Interparliamentary Association is a nonpartisan political association which was founded in August of 1996, the same year that the Smile of the Child was also founded. Now, again, remember, the Smile of the Child is now connected with Amber Alert, which again was founded also in 1996. Cassiandonis seems to also have an interest in the growing of human organs. Oh, this is like getting really, really crazy and deep right now. Has an interest in the growing of human organs. Isn't that something? Cassiandonis voted in favor of ridding an old police station in Manchester, New Hampshire, in order to allow some companies to move into the area, which were allowed and operated by entrepreneur Dean Kamen, K-A-M-E-N, in order to initiate research efforts into growing human organs and tissue, right where the old police station used to be. The operation costed an estimated $300 million, and this is done in Manchester in an industrial scale, quote unquote. Cassiandonis can be found at least 3 times associating with the Clintons on Greece's issues. Listen to this, on Greece's issues, as well as U.S.-Greek relations, in order to, quote-unquote, strengthen the bond between the two nations economically and diplomatically. The visit to the U.S., okay, and particularly in the state of New Hampshire, where MP centrists stood at Union versus Larissa, attended along with Marios Georgiadis, member of parliament with the Center Union Party, okay, of Athens, following an official invitation of Raymond Buckley, the president of the Democratic Party, IPSA, at the event on the field hockey Verizon Wireless Arena, which saw the start of the election campaign of the candidates of the Democratic Party with the keynotes of candidates, U.S. Presidents Hillary and Bernie Sanders. Okay, the person who wrote this, I can tell right off the back, is Greek. And they translated some information from Greek and English. They're doing a really good job here. It's just their translation here is a little skewed, that's all. Because what they've done is they've translated directly from Greek and English using still Greek syntax. And when you do it that way, you screw it all up. Okay. So basically what it's saying here is you know, there is connections going on here between, okay, Greek members of parliament of the centrist Union Party, okay, with that are associated basically with the Cassiandonis family, because George Cassiandonis, Thomas Cassiandonis' brother, is a member of parliament of the Center Union Party of the Greek parliament, okay. So these people got invited to the U.S. by Raymond Buckley, president of the Democratic Party, IPSA, okay, at some field hockey event in the Verizon Wireless Arena, okay. All right, so that was, you know, when Hillary and Sanders were going at it. Continuing, at the same table, okay, at this event, you saw Tom Cassiandonis, okay, who, again, is an active member, okay? Well, he's an active representative of the New Hampshire state legislature, okay? And President, P-A-D-E-E, representing the Greeks abroad, Jean Shaheen, okay, so this person was also there. Jean Shaheen was also there, president of the P-A-D-E-E, representing Greeks abroad, okay? And that person's name is spelled Jeannene, S-H-A-H-E-E-N. Also there was U.S. Senator Chris Pappas, okay, Greek, Director of State Hillary Clinton, okay, and responsible Economic Democratic Party, Esther Boras, okay. Okay, again, we're having issues with the translation, but that's okay. So again, the director of Hillary Clinton's campaign, responsible for the finances, apparently, of Hillary's campaign, Esther Boras, Booras is how you spell her name. Apparently she's Greek. You also have another active member of the New Hampshire Parliament, D. Alessandro. You have another senator of New Hampshire, Chris Spiru, he's Greek. You have the president of the Hellenic American Union, former chairman of the Democratic Party of New Hampshire, in which there was an exchange of views, okay, and information on developments in Greece. As you can see, Kassendonis has very deep ties in politics, charity, work for children, and is the owner of 2 pizza parlors. They're saying he's the owner of 2, but now we've read he's the owner of 3. I go over the fact that Mr. Thomas Kassendonis has made some trips to Greece, okay? It was 2015 where he went and visited the foundation of the Greek Parliament, or the Greek Parliament Foundation. The official symbol, in a nutshell, of this foundation of the Greek Parliament is a triangle within a triangle, which pretty much looks like the boy lover symbol, which, again, everyone knows now that this, of course, has to do with pedophilia. And this symbol was revealed to us back in 2007, 10 years ago, by the FBI itself, okay? There is also a non-governmental organization there in Greece. That's called the Elpida Home for Refugees. It's funded by the Radcliffe Foundation. The Radcliffe Foundation is owned by Frank Giustra, okay? The owner also of Lionsgate Films. Frank Giustra is personal friends of the Clintons. He's been a long-time donor. Frank Giustra has been photographed with Bill Clinton in Haiti, with little children there. And also, another important aspect of Mr. Thomas Kassendonis' visits to Greece is the fact that both he and his brother George Kassendonis, who's a member of parliament of a Greek party there, of Mr. Levendis, I can't remember his first name right now, both of them are pretty much involved with a Greek organization there called, in Greek, To Chamoyolo Tu Pediu. In other words, the child's smile, or the smile of the child. Google it right now. Which basically has to do with protecting children's rights, quote unquote. But as I've revealed in my previous video, and also in my articles that I have published in my own blog, GreekNewsOnDemand.com, and these articles now have been republished in other top Greek news blogs, this organization, the Smile of the Child, is connected with Amber Alert. Okay? It's connected with Amber Alert. Both this organization and Amber Alert, oddly enough, were founded in 1996. Amber Alert now has been completely tarnished, ladies and gentlemen, because Amber Alert harbors child traffickers. And not only that, they hire child traffickers, like none other than Miss Laura Silsby, the close associate of the Clintons, who back in 2010 was caught by the Haitian authorities smuggling, without papers, tons of children out of the country. We're talking about 33. Now, the number 33 sounds odd because that's the number of course, the highest degree of Freemasonry. But nevertheless, this is a story that all the media has been reporting on now for years. This story has now found the light of day again once, of course, Pizzagate broke several months ago. So basically, Laura Silsby works for AlertSense, a company that provides technical assistance to Amber Alert. Think about all this now, okay? So the child, the smile of the child, works together with Amber Alert. Mr. Kassendonis and his brother George both are participants, okay, in this Greek organization. Okay. Now, up until this point, like I've said before, we're not accusing anyone of anything. We're just connecting the dots here. But, of course, the fact that Mr. Castiandonis and his brother George are supporters of the criminals Obama and Hillary is enough for us to know that they, too, okay, are suspect, that they, too, are traitors, and that they need to be exposed, okay, publicly. End of story. All right? But in my previous video, I go over all this stuff, and I talk about the fact that there's all these weird, suspect aspects of Mr. Castiandonis' life and his relations with not only Clinton and the Obama, but also, of course, with these Greek organizations, basically with which I just described, okay? So again, the parliament, the foundation of the Greek parliament, has a symbol that looks just like the pedophile symbol, the boy lover symbol, which is a triangle within a triangle, okay? And I talked about also in my previous video how there is a long-standing brewing pedophile scandal in Greece amongst judicial associations. In other words, there are associations of judges in Greece, okay, that are heavily involved in child trafficking. This has been exposed for years by reporters and by judges themselves. And I'm going to be doing an exclusive interview with a woman judge there in Greece who has exposed all this herself and has paid a dear price. This is real, folks. Pedophilia, child trafficking is real, not only in the United States, not only in Greece, but everywhere. And for years, for that matter. So, basically, Mr. Castiandonis, okay, went back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, see his Facebook page, and you'll see all the photos, and he visited the foundation of the Greek Parliament, okay, which has this symbol that looks like the boy lover symbol. There's also the Alpida Home for Refugees, which I just described also, that has the same symbol, all right, on their official website right now, okay? Now, they forgot to take it down because when Pizzagate broke, okay, they had this very same symbol as their profile pic on Facebook. But once the scandal broke, they were forced to take it down. Isn't that interesting? Something strange is going on with Greece and pedophilia, with Mr. Castiandonis and the Clintons and these Greek organizations, which it seems, okay, from what the evidence shows, that they too are involved in child trafficking. All right, so see that video which I just described. Now, I'm going to get into some other heavy stuff right now with regards to Mr. Castiandonis and his voting record on the New Hampshire state legislature. Now, before I get into that, we have some breaking news from a news source called the New Hampshire Union Leader. Okay? Let's go to their website, unionleader.com. Okay? That's the website. So, it's in the local and county government. That's where we're going to go right now. The local and county government section. February the 20th, 2017. That was yesterday. And it says, Grand Slam Pizza owner and Manchester Ward 8 Alderman Thomas Castiandonis owes more than $427,000 in state taxes and fees, according to court documents. Manchester Alderman billed for $427,000 plus in taxes by Michael Cusineo, okay, New Hampshire Union Leader. Interesting. Manchester. Ward Alderman Thomas Castiandonis and his Grand Slam Pizza business owe more than $427,000 to the State Department of Revenue Administration and faces state tax liens. The New Hampshire Union Leader has learned. Okay? Now, this apparently is the reason, quote unquote, that he was arrested the other day. Okay? About 4 or 5 days ago. Read the full article as I put it here on the screen for you. I'm not going to get into this, though, that much. Because, in my opinion, now this is just me speculating, okay? this is all a cover. Because usually when someone betrays their higher-uppers, okay, in the Freemasonic, let's say, mafia, all right, usually when someone goes against their masters then go against them, okay, and punish them severely. And usually it starts from a monetary aspect. Usually, here's how it happens. Let me give you an example. Al Capone did something to piss off the system. The system goes after him, and what do they use? Taxes, tax fraud, and all this garbage, okay? The whole issue, of course, about taxes is garbage, and that's for another video. I'm talking about the illegality of the IRS and all this stuff, all right? Now, this is saying he owes $427,000 in state taxes. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but what I'm saying here is that it just seems to me that this is being used as a cover, okay, to take down Castellanonis for the fact that he's pissed off some people that control him, his handlers, in other words. In other words, he hasn't been doing a good job, all right? So, instead of exposing him publicly, let's say for child trafficking or something like that, they use taxes as the first means by which to humble him. This is what I'm trying to say, all right? Now, this is just me speculating, all right? And I'm not accusing anyone of anything, all right? So, Mr. Thomas Castellanonis can come basically onto my program at any time and can explain himself. Basically, he can give an interview to our news blog, GreekNewsOnDemand.com, or he can contact me directly, and we can settle all of this, all right? And we can go over these very strange points in his life and his career, all right? So, you know, all right, let's set that issue aside now because that's not really the meat of the matter here, at least for me. What I like to do is I'd like to type in Thomas Castellanonis' name in Google, which is what I'm doing right now, right? Then what we're going to do is click on the link that says votesmart.org. You're going to have to scroll down the page, votesmart.org, okay? You're going to see his name there, and then, you know, under the link description, and just click on that particular link, all right? You'll see it there. You'll see what I mean. And it says, Thomas Castellanonis Political Summary, all right? Scroll down. You're going to see how this guy has voted, basically, in the past several months, all right? Since, like, October. So, the first thing it says here, Thomas Castellanonis has failed the 2016 political courage test, all right? Then it says Thomas Castellanonis was rated 50% by New Hampshire House Republican Alliance. And it goes on to to show basically how he's voted on critical issues there in the New Hampshire state legislature, all right? Now, to me, though, all right, there's a lot of suspect points here, all right? And I'm going to give you a few certain examples, okay? And again, we're dealing with his voting record in the past several months there, all right? Let's go to the link where it says, and again, I'm on votesmart.org, where it says HB 1661 prohibits conversion therapy on minors. Key vote. Notice this now. The stages, it says, May 19th, 2016, House non-concurrence vote passed. Okay, May the 12th, 2016, Senate bill passed. March 23rd, 2016, House bill passed. January 6th, 2016 is when this was introduced. Again, HB 1661 prohibits conversion therapy on minors. Gee, what does that mean? Here are the issues at hand. Sexual orientation and gender identity, minors and children. Okay? Now, Mr. Tom Castellanonis did not vote on this issue. Let's just make this clear. All right? Legislation. Bill passed. House. A vote of 299 to 99. March 23rd, 2016. Okay, so we're going even further back now from October 2016. All right. Let's go to Vote Smart's synopsis. Vote to pass a bill that prohibits conversion therapy on minors, effective January the 1st, 2017. Okay. Here are the highlights of the bill. Prohibits an individual licensed to practice professional counseling, including but not limited to a physician, psychologist, and social worker, from providing quote-unquote conversion therapy to a patient who is under the age of 18. Defines conversion therapy, quote-unquote, as any practices, treatments, or efforts that attempt to change an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity. Again, we're dealing with minors here, ladies and gentlemen. Children under the age of 18. Classifies a violation of the provisions of this bill as engaging in unprofessional conduct and subject to discipline by a licensing authority. And then, of course, we see the sponsors of the bill here. All right. Mr. Tom Castandonis failed to vote on this bill to protect children under the age of 18, okay, from undergoing this kind of bullshit from psychologists, doctors, whatever, psychotherapists, whatever. He failed to vote on this critical issue to protect children from this vile practice. He claims to be a Christian Greek Orthodox, and he did not vote on this bill. Gee, why is that? And you just heard all the descriptions on this. Let's go to the next interesting tidbit on his voting record in the past year or so. Or more, actually, now. Because what I'm seeing now, there are some other strange things, bills that were up for vote. They're in the New Hampshire legislature, which he did not vote on, okay? Now, if I were in his position as a Greek Christian Orthodox, I would definitely vote against such practices against minors, ladies and gentlemen. That goes without saying. Let's go to the second interesting little tidbit here. HB 136 prohibits minors from using tanning beds. Prohibits minors from using tanning beds. He did not vote on this. Mr. Tom Castandonis did not vote on this. Okay, this was referred to the Senate Committee, March 5th, 2015. Legislation bill passed, okay, March the 4th, 2015. Mr. Tom Castandonis did not vote on this. To keep children out of public tanning rooms. Vote Smart's synopsis. Vote to pass a bill that prohibits an individual under the age of 18 from using tanning beds at a tanning facility unless prescribed by a licensed physician, advanced registered nurse, or physician's assistant. So, go to Google, type in Tom Castandonis. Okay, you see his name there on the screen. Go down to VoteSmart, like I told you before, .org, that link there, which refers to him. See his voting record and tell me that there's not all the suspect stuff there. Now, the fact that he doesn't take a position on this, all right, is very suspect within itself, because a real Christian Orthodox would vote on these matters and would have voted no on these two previous issues, okay, votes that I just mentioned. Okay, Mr. Tom Castandonis, from what it seems like, feels like there's no need to protect children from this kind of stuff. Isn't that interesting? Now, there's some other interesting tidbits here, okay? If you go to the first link there on the votesmart.org link, it says Tom Castandonis' issue, positions, political courage test, okay? It says Tom Castandonis has refused to provide voters with positions on key issues covered by the 2016 political courage test, despite reported requests. Apparently he doesn't feel like there's a need to vote on critical issues in order to serve his voter base there. Historically, candidates have failed to complete our test due to the advice they received from their parties and advisors out of fear of negative attack ads. That goes without saying. So, apparently voters there are not really too happy with this guy on his voting record, yet he seems to have been voted in 6 times now there in New Hampshire. Very interesting, to say the least. So, check all this stuff out for yourself. Again, we are publicly calling out to him to give explanations for all this kind of stuff. All right. He can also give an interview to us at Greek News on Demand and basically, go over all these allegations if he, wants to. Again, this is John Contreras with GreekNewsOnDemand.com. I'm signing out here. Please see my YouTube channel, John Contreras, for all the best videos there. Also, you can visit my website, johncontreras.com, and see the work that I do as a Greek-American reporter for Greece, and of course for major issues that revolve around U.S. politics and geopolitics and so on and so forth. GreekNewsOnDemand.com, that's our news site, and on the homepage you can see the link to English articles, because we publish mostly in Greek, but click on that English article link, and there you can read all our English articles. Thank you so much for listening.
My name is S.M. Gibson, and I am the host of Anti-Media Radio on UCY.TV.